So I'll give a bit of background after I ask this question, but how many years would you say of data, whether it's you visually seeing a mature buck or seeing it on trail camera in a row, gives you enough confidence to go in and kind of call that pattern? So, for instance, I've had a pattern show up in the 10th to 13th of October for 2 years in a row, and I want to shoot on that pattern and follow it like it's true. But there are some spots that if I would have just done that the first year and trusted it to be true, then I would have shot that deer the second time it showed up. And I've seen guys. There's like a recent discussion on. I think it was the Southern Outdoorsman. They were talking. It might not have been recent, but they were talking about waiting till like the third, fourth year in a row and then striking. And it's like, what do you really? I mean, unless you've got a whole bunch of spots that's your possibility. Like, what are you really losing out by trying it the second year? So basically, I have two spots. One of them is showing a really strong trend. It's 2 years in a row. And another one has showed something that looks really similar. It's the same kind of checking the scrape earlier in the year. And I purposely just left that spot, that whole property alone since I got that pattern. I took the camera down and everything, and now I'm going to count on it being the same this year and hopefully striking on it. How many years or how many times in a row do you like to see a pattern before you strike? Could it be the same as just one, or does it depend on the deer? What do you think?
If I see a deer there one day, I'm there the next. I don't know about waiting 3 years. I might not live 3 more years. But the longer you see the pattern, the better. Yeah. I mean, if you see the pattern year after year, it gives you more and more confidence. But I see any kind of pattern, I'm on it. As a matter of fact, like even getting into the simplistic terms of seeing deer, you see a deer come out in the field a couple days in a row. Don't be like, I'm going to be there this weekend. You got to be there now, because those patterns change constantly. We talk about patterns, they might last 3 days, they might last 2 days, it might be every other day for a week, and you got to hit the right day during that week. Patterns change quick, but you do get those annual patterns that you start noticing with trail cameras or with historical data or sightings and stuff, and that certain bucks will show up in certain places at certain time frames, and they do that quite often. So if I had camera data of a buck in a certain area for 3 days, the next year within those 3 days is a pretty good chance I'll show up in that spot with my bow in hand.
I think something else to think about too, Jacob, is like I got a couple spots that, like what you're describing, where there's always deer in there these certain days, but something else that goes on those 3 days is I'm usually not in there. Like those patterns may change if a guy walks in there and hunts them too, so you really gotta, whenever you're moving in on those spots, don't be too confident, like, okay, this deer's going to be here. You really want to be precise about how you go into them and all that, because they're there for a reason, whether it be rut patterns or whatever, food patterns or something. But on your trail camera, you're not there. So it's always something to keep in the back of your mind.
Hey, everybody. If you like the channel, make sure you subscribe right here. And if you like the clips, I got 2 more options for you. 2 options right here. Subscribe right here. See you guys.